Oh man, did you guys see that Super Bowl game with those teams and all the people, the president saying, "Hey, space out," to a stadium of 25,000 people all packed to each other? It's my favorite thing. It's my
I didn't
favorite thing.
see any of the game.
I watched the whole game. It's the only football I watched all year, and I watched that game. And the best part was that there was a commercial for Hellman's mayonnaise, and then Amy Schumer was supposed to be mayonnaise. And I'm like, there's no better human in the world to be mayonnaise than Amy Schumer. I tweeted it. I was very proud of it. Two things I learned from the Super Bowl is that we're going to have women shoved down our throats soon, and it's not the women you want. It's the women you deserve.
Well, there's a switch.
Amy Schumer's mayonnaise in the new show. That was the show going to be on after the Super Bowl to make sure America saw it. Queen Latifah as the equalizer. If you were making a joke, you'd say that, but it's real. The equalizer. And I wrote a tweet that said, if I was in trouble and Queen Latifah came to help me, I'd hope there's someone better behind her. I don't want Queen Latifah, UNITY, helping me out. It should be the equal rights lizer, which is hard to say, but that's what it is. This is going to come off racist, and I will start off the show with this, and we'll move on. Andy Warhol once said, in the future, everyone will get 15 minutes of fame.
That's not racist.
No, let me finish. If you change that quote from Andy Warhol to the year 2021 once said, every black person will get 30 seconds on the Super Bowl, because they did. Every black person there is in America somehow got honored for just being black. And listen, I get it. You would do a lot of stuff, but I think white guilt did it. They said, hey, we'll give you a show with Queen Latifah as the equalizer. Are we good now? And they're like, no, we need more. It was a million. Even a country singer who was singing the national anthem had to have a black lady with them. They're like, they wouldn't hang out. They're like,
wait. Wasn't part of the equalizer's plot like his wife died? So that's why he was like, he found the way he found his way back was by helping others who needed it.
That's the movie, The Equalizer.
Okay.
The show, right? There was
the TV show from like the 80s and 90s. I'm not sure if it was that dark.
But so like, what's her motivation? She's a lesbian. Her wife?
Her motivation is she can BLM, a black lesbian mattering. And that's what she is. She's run or big lady mattering or whatever you want to do. Black labia mattering, whatever she is, she's running around saying, I'm Queen Latifah. She's probably just stopping white men from fucking existing and running around.
She just woke up one day and said, well, looks like it's up to me.
I'm about to equalize your shit. It just comes in and just like, all right. Queen Latifah, and of all people, Queen Latifah, even when she was in her prime, she was already out of her prime. Like, why are we getting, if I'm running with I steal your bag and I move behind me and here comes Queen Latifah, I'm pretty sure I can outrun her.
Start throwing cheeseburgers behind your back.
If you beat up by Queen Latifah,
I think
Queen to get beat up.
My ass. Queen Latifah could definitely kick my ass right now. She's probably got about 140 pounds on me.
In about 5 years, she's got to be 50.
I will say this for Queen Latifah, her cover of California Dreamin' off the Dana Bowen's album, it's good.
Okay. That was also still a long time ago. And by the way, if she's supposed to be all for like women's rights and Black Power, why is she covering the Beach Boys? It's white people shit.
So is she gonna get in like fist fights? Are we gonna see? You
didn't watch any of it, huh?
I didn't watch. Not a goddamn.
The commercial's not. She's just chasing, and it's her song. Like, I'm the queen. I'm like, all right, you're the queen. And it's just like they just kept. The commercial was on every 4 seconds. Brandon, did you watch any of the Super Bowl?
No, I was actually out shoveling all night.
The whole time? You didn't take a break to see Queen Latifah?
I didn't watch any of the Super Bowl. No, I was gonna, and then I got a call right before, and people I know that plow, and they're like, "You want to help us?" And I was like, "Yes." Can I make money? Let's do it.
Nice.
Money, the ultimate equalizer.
Equalizer.
Do they spell equalizer like little e?
No, they did it normal. They didn't give the big Q. I was hoping she'd get the big Q.
Yeah, or equeenlizer.
Well, for queer, not for queen.
Oh.
She's queer Latifah.
Queeralizer.
That's what she is now. I'm queer Latifah, and I'm speaking for this. Like, if midway through the season of Equalizer, if they just without telling anyone switched out Tracy Morgan for her, would you know?
All of a
I
sudden,
would
she's
start
running
watching it
slightly
if they
slower.
did that.
I'm Queen Latifah and I got doodle bombs in my pants.
That would be much better.
Yeah, I'd watch it. Tracy Morgan was about 4 commercials too. There was a lot of.
Oh, what did he do?
You know what? That's the thing with him. You never remember what the product is, but everyone on Twitter was like, "Does he need to do this with all that Walmart money he got like from that car?" Like, I guess he does. I guess he already spent the $90 million he got from Walmart for being in that car accident, almost dying. But
Wait, how is Walmart involved?
all right, Dave, you got to fucking know something in life. I can't
No, I
teach you
don't.
everything. Dave, years ago, Tracy Morgan almost died because of Walmart.
Yeah, I remember that, but how was Walmart involved?
The Walmart trucks would hit him.
Oh, I thought maybe it was a store.
You got to know both sides.
Yeah,
Dave.
the store ran out and hit him, Dave. That's what happened. So there's a giant suit. You didn't hear about that? It was the Walmart. And,
No, I totally forgot.
Walmartalizer running after you. So he was in a commercial where it's like, you want to make sure it's this or kind of like this. He's like, oh, kind of like if you think Batista could be. They just put famous people in the commercial. It was a weird fucking. The commercials weren't great. They were weird. There was something for like Oatly milk, and the guy who owns Oatly milk just sang about how it's not made from cows, and he just literally sang in a field. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Have you ever had any of that oat milk?
I did. Someone put it in coffee once.
Yeah, it's awful.
Well, I don't like anything in my coffee, so I would have hated it if it was regular milk.
I've had oat
even do
milk
sugar?
ice cream.
I don't. Dave, you've been with me. I get it black all the time.
I just want to just cut that clip.
My coffee's like
Get it
Queen
black all the
Latifah,
time.
baby. Black is fucking queer as hell.
Use Equal in your coffee?
No, but who
Ooh,
does?
that would have been a great
Frank
sponsor for
uses
the
Splenda.
Equalizer.
Frank uses
Exactly.
Splenda, but he says splendid or splendor. I'll take 14 splendors. It's like and 1 jubilation, please.
You want a blender in your coffee?
14 blenders.
Splendors.
Does Frank drink Senka?
Frank will drink whatever the fuck you give him. This boy's
So what you're saying is he uses a hard R on Splenda?
He uses a hard R on Back in my day, A's didn't exist.
Those dirty Splendors. All right, Frank, we get it.
So did either one of you see The Weeknd?
No, I didn't see anything.
No, what did I
Not
see?
even the highlights. He was the halftime. Okay, fucking Dave. Do you know who The Weeknd is?
No.
The 2 big songs he has is "I Can't Feel My Face Without You" was a song from a couple years ago.
Okay, I actually know that one.
I can't feel my face with, and it was they did a weird thing in the videos, and then there's the newer one now that was the big TikTok songs. Like they took the song and then they did like a little montage where people just run out and dancing.
Was the video just a bunch of people touching his face?
But like he's one of those guys that just like a lot of people at the Super Bowl when they perform, you're like, oh, I know one song, and then you listen to all the songs he sings, you're like, oh, I know 4 or 5 of these songs, except. The way the sound was, you couldn't really hear any of the songs, and they all sound kind of the same. And they were all wearing like gas masks or like tape on their face. All the dancers, they couldn't be close to each other until at one point they were all in one like escape room, real close to each other. And you're like, wait, they could have been close. They could have had good dancing and not this weird spaced out shit. It was okay. It wasn't. I'm not gonna shit. The guy's obviously a megastar entertainer. He got hired to be in the Super Bowl, but it didn't feel like a Super Bowl thing. It felt like just a regular performance. It didn't feel special. But I think it's also because.
Gotcha.
I think it's also because it was weird just to not hear that hundreds of thousands of people fucking going nuts for it. It was just, I think half the crowd had to be the dancers. I don't know, it was weird. And there was no special guests. Like,
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for your halftime
was going to
show.
come out because they do a song together and she didn't. So there was nobody. It was just a weekend.
Sounds like I missed a lot.
No, that sucks because usually there's always people that come out and stuff. I'm kind of glad I missed it then, honestly. It was very synchronistic. I was out there cleaning snow anyway. The shoes I was using were smaller, so I needed boots. And I was going to take a walk to the store. So I went to my truck, got my boots out, started getting dressed. And then my brother called me. He's like, do you want to work? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'll come pick you up. So I missed all that. I mean,
why were your shoes too small?
Because he has big feet.
They were too thin.
Okay, that's different.
The soles
that's
were
different.
thin. Yeah, they're waterproof. So I was out there and it wasn't too bad, but it's just that my feet get too cold because they're not insulated enough.
Are they
from the ground.
moccasins?
No, they're
Are they
Merrells.
pontoons?
Merrells.
Ooh.
They're
Were
like
they
bare feet
snow
almost.
shoes?
No,
No
they're just like bare
service.
feet hike shoes.
They were when you wore them outside in the snow.
That's right. I wish they were snowshoes. My feet are almost big enough.
Did you wear snow pants?
I didn't. They were when you were outside.
In the snow.
Nope.
No,
'cause
I wore snow pants. I was in my underwear.
I was naked.
Oh, I got snow pants on. Whoa.
Officer, get here quick.
Part
There's
is
a guy
how
with
much
snow
you hate
pants on.
until you love it.
Okay, speaking of
That's a
love,
good clip.
you know what, Brandon? I don't know how much you pay attention to Facebook and Dave, but even I have to do an intervention. And I love puns, and I love work. But holy shit, Dave Hintz, you have gone too far. I'm worried about you. Like friends of
I could
ours,
just
like
say-
Frankie Hill and stuff like that, who are real mad at you. I understand. Dave, Dave, give him an example of the fun wordplay you're doing. Dave will come up with an idea. Like,
Yeah.
you're this, but you're this. And therefore, here's
Well,
wordplay. And then people just go,
the last one, I'm pretty proud of the last one. The last one was an environmental group made up of people that also have STDs, and they're called the Ice Cap AIDS.
yeah, people didn't like that one.
Why? That was my best one.
Because
AIDS
they
is
were
fake.
like, why is it?
Everybody was upset because AIDS is fake.
Yeah. They're like, are you going to
That's
be
why they're
truthful?
We demand honesty in our puns.
Yep. Rock Hudson was like, boo, because I'm still alive because age is fake.
That's right.
No, it's not fake. There's cock inside me. I'm Rock Hudson still, by the way. Because you weren't sure what the acting. That was Rock Hudson. You had
Cock
that one. You had a
Hudson.
Danish one. You had some bad ones.
Rock Me, I'm a Danish.
Yeah, you didn't
The
do that. but you
80s
did
pop
the thing
themed
off that.
bakery. Yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah, they're bad. But
I think I saw that. That was like a Bob's Burgers. You know how
yeah,
next
everything
door.
Dave does is hack as fuck. Like everything he wrote has been
Oh, I
either
like
in
Bob's
Family
Burgers.
Guy,
Oh, yeah.
American Dad, or Bob's Burgers.
That's
So-
not with intention.
You should do a little research.
It's parallel thinking, Pat. It happens.
It's not parallel thinking. They did it a while ago.
So what you're saying-
Parallel thinking means it happened at the same kind of time.
So
Guys,
you're
I
trying
don't
to
know
give me shit. You're trying to give me shit for being hacking unoriginal. All I hear is, Dave, your ideas can be on TV.
No, your ideas are on TV.
This guy can't be put down. You can't. That's what I'm seeing. You just no matter what. This guy is just no matter.
When you
That's
say
not child porn on my. That's modeling. I don't know.
listen, that was years ago. They're adults now.
Yeah, he'd come up with some kind of positive spin. That was years ago.
To be fair, that was
Role
filmed-
models are of legal
Some
age
of those kids
now.
are dead.
Oh, they're all dead. It's fine.
I mean, they didn't make it to be adults. I killed them. But
Uh,
all right. So
All right.
I guess that lead in is we're going to talk about sports. So all you people like, oh, not a part 4 of schools. No, I think we did it. We were
what
fine.
about
Whatever.
school sports?
I mean, that's kind of where it's going to go. And I'm not going to debunk if sports should be happening. It's a mega business. It's one of the biggest businesses, one of the biggest things in the world. And at one point, they wasn't supposed to be that. Sports were invented. I mean, if you go a long time ago, sports were invented for a way to watch, for rich people to watch poor people kill themselves for entertainment and pleasure. But if we get past the Roman times and all that shit and get more into when it was supposed to be to build leadership skills and teamwork and things like that, I was fine with sports. But it's not that anymore. It's all about individualistic. It's all about the whole goal is if I will do real well and I do the things that adults are telling me to do and ignore, regular qualms in life, and I get treated differently because I have this one skill that's been forced upon me to ignore all other skills so I can one day kind of sort of be famous for a little bit and then have injuries for the rest of my life. That's kind of what sports has become. And I know a lot of people get mad at that. And I know it's not true for everything. And I know a lot of people believe in sports. It's become their identity. There are people who cried yesterday because someone lost a game that they're not in. Like they cried. They probably hit their family.
Pat, you bring up a good point. They
Oh, I
should
do.
bring it back to what it used to be. Like we should have people in prison playing sports for their freedom.
They do.
Or death.
Yeah, that's it. Freedom or death. Like how much more interesting would the game be?
Running Man.
Have you ever heard of the NFL, Dave? They do. They murder people. They go in for a year. Then they go, oh wait, we
Yeah,
need
but
a
it's-
linebacker, and then they hire him back out of jail.
No,
Hiram.
They actually pay him. They say, come on
Yeah.
out, and we're going to pay you to get out of jail so you can play football some more. Ladies and gentlemen, I show you the Baltimore Ravens. That's all they ever are. Is just
yeah, but I'm saying right now it's get into sports to get into prison to get back into sports. It should be you're in prison. That's how you get into sports.
they do. A lot of them do. Weightlifting, they definitely do. A lot of them don't weightlift, and they get in there and they weightlift a lot.
And a lot of people use sports as a mean to stay out of prison. Like that's what keeps some people out of trouble and out of prison. So it really is when it's like death or sports. That's the aspect of it's true.
I
too.
always like when that's brought up. I could have been on the street selling drugs, gang banging, killing hoes, but instead I play badminton. It's like, no. You probably still sold drugs and were in a gang, but you were good at sports. So white people came in and said, hey, we'll coach you and you can live with Sandra Bullock. Like, and then we take care of it that way. Those people still, it wasn't one or the other. You probably weren't good enough to be in a gang. Like, how about that? Maybe you weren't. They didn't recruit you. They recruiting there, but there's guys in wheelchairs in gangs. They get recruited.
I respect
in
someone
the
who wants to
'90s.
be
There's always a guy in a
professional.
wheelchair. Like, yo. It's like, how are you helping? You're in a
I
wheelchair.
respect someone who wants to be a professional badminton player way more than someone who wants to be a professional basketball player. Because if you want badminton, your only shot is the Olympics. That's it.
And I respected that when the Olympics weren't all like letting pros in and stuff. But how about those amateur badminton players?
All those pro badminton players.
I bet you
What
can
about
look it
that
up. It's
new
there.
pro?
I bet
There's
you can
gotta
look
be.
it up, it's
Of
there.
course there is. Of course there is.
How much do you think they're making for a win?
Do you think those pro badminton hustlers are going to like high schools and hustling?
guys? You all know a pro badminton player,
We do.
Bernie Sanders, with those terrible mittens.
Ah.
Mm.
I know a racquetball.
Is this what you guys feel like when I do it?
Yeah, that was it.
That can't be right.
I thought he was going to
'Cause
say Pete
that's-
Angelo, but I was going to say
When I
no,
do it, it's
Pete does
awesome.
racquetball.
Yeah.
Our friend Pete Angelo was like a ranked racquetball player, and he's 300 pounds, but now he's getting all jacked and shit. But he was a big fat fuck, and he was like the racquetball champion.
Was that his badminton name?
Good. His name was Good Mittens.
Who am I up against in the racquetball? Oh, you're playing the BFF.
What do you think the names of their tournaments are? Like they had to have like it's in California. It's Rad Mittens. Just doing it.
I thought Pete was playing racquetball.
Oh, did you hear about the
I
Russian
said all
one?
that. You started drawing,
Oh.
so you kind of heard some of me, but that was all right. I brought up racquetball. I said I thought you were going to say him, but he actually did racquetball, and he was fat.
Oh, okay, all right. I was thinking bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
There's
telling the
one-
Bernie Sanders pun.
Yeah.
No, we know.
Yeah. We moved
Uh-huh.
on to badminton puns.
This tournament this year is in Russia. It's
It's
Vlad Mittens.
God damn it.
Yeah.
It's going to be really bad though. It's going to be sad, man.
Oh.
Oh.
If you lose, they cut your testicles off. Nad Mittens.
The people that lose are going to be really upset that they went. They're not going to be glad, Mitten.
Nice. Dave.
You stole my joke, you cad mitten.
Don't worry, that joke will be not in your Facebook in 2 weeks now. Okay, Dave, did you play sports in school?
I played like intramural shit, baseball.
Intramural baseball.
Yeah, like little league until I
That's
couldn't.
not intramural. You don't even know what to call it. You are gay.
No, I don't. I played
Intramural is
some
like
form
when
of
you're at school, but
organized
you're not on a
sports.
team. You're playing with like in the school, but not like on a team.
Yeah, I
You
tried
played
out
Little
once.
League.
I played little league until I couldn't.
What
I
was
tried
the
out for the
oldest
school team.
age you played sports?
Oldest age I played sports.
Were you a teen?
Yeah,
Were you a hot
13?
teen?
Oh, depends who you ask. The girls, no. The gym teachers, yes.
Oh yeah, the priests.
Queen Latifah, you bet your ass, girl. Brandon, did you play sports in school?
Yes, I did.
What'd you play?
I played little league when I like t-ball. I played for a year or two,
That's not
And then
school.
and then later I played
Hers are
basketball
school.
in 7th and 8th grade.
There you go. That's what I mean. Like, did you play?
I was
school-
in the
Would-
band.
Did anyone play sports when they had hair on their balls?
I was in the band. I was sports
Yeah.
adjacent.
You were in the band.
Oh yeah, dude.
You were in the band.
I was
Like
in.
you
the
were in
band.
the band,
Oh yeah.
the marching band.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
mofo.
get it now. I totally get Dave Vince now.
Yeah, I
Right.
didn't. This makes sense now. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I get it now. Wow.
Missing link. Yeah.
All right, I gotta go. No,
I don't know how that makes all. I
I
don't
can't disappear. on
Because
this.
just the dance thing didn't work for us. We didn't
Yeah.
really get why it was just the dance, but this makes sense now.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm super musical.
Look, we finally got to him.
I don't know.
Finally, we've been getting him every fucking week.
Listen,
He tried to
Just
pretend like he
because
didn't
you
know this show was
assholes-
happening today.
you assholes have no appreciation for things like dance and music. I get
No,
it.
no,
You
no.
don't, you
No.
don't
Oh,
like it.
If anything, I appreciate those things so much, knowing that better people than you did them. I think George Michael's amazing. He can sing and dance.
Oh yeah.
You know
Oh, yeah.
George Michael, my friend.
I
What
didn't
did
say
you
it
play?
was.
Okay, before you answer,
oh yeah.
Brandon,
Let's
think I
guess.
played.
you gotta
Hang
guess.
on.
What do you think
we
I
gotta
played?
guess. Don't say shit. We gotta guess. And we gotta really guess this. We can't just fucking. It's not
We
a
can't
skin,
just say the skin flute.
not skin flute. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say not skin flute. That's where we're gonna go.
Of
The
course.
rusty trombone. We can't go there.
All
All right, real guess.
right. Why don't you?
Dave,
go
don't
first?
answer until we both guess.
Okay.
I think he played some kind of horn, like maybe a clarinet or like.
Clarinet isn't a horn, you
Hey, first of all,
jackass.
Dave, stop fucking shaking bad yes. You're a terrible poker player. Don't fucking. You're
I'm
giving
not
it
playing
away.
poker. I'm not playing poker.
You are, because I saw the face with the horns.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, fuck, it's a horn.
Yeah. Well, whatever, man. I'm impressed.
Okay, so
We didn't
then
guess yet. But
so
now we know
then-
it's a horn.
something brassy.
Just
Your
guess.
mom.
A tuba? I don't know. I don't know what they're called. I don't know the names of them. Trumpet? I don't know. Is that a
You can't guess two. Tuba.
okay?
Tuba's the big fat one with the huge top. And then trombone is.
All right.
Okay, so what's the one that's smaller though? That's a
Trumpet.
trumpet. Okay, I'll say trumpet
I think
because
Dave's
he
trying-
looks like a trumpet player that I know.
I think Dave's trying to throw us off. It's not a horn. Dave twirled the baton.
Well, that
The
too.
answer. Dave twirled the baton. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay. First of all, the difference between a tuba and what you described, Pat. One is a sousaphone. That's the one you wear with the big giant.
You're a
bell.
Susie phone. You fruit.
And for the record, I played baritone horn, trombone, and Brandon, you should have gone with your gut because in the marching band I played tuba.
We played. How do you play three? How, you have
Sousaphone.
nobody in your band.
No, I didn't really think you played tuba. Wasn't my
Oh,
gut
you were
feeling.
right. I did. I played tuba.
No, but
Right.
I didn't think you played it, so I
That's
wasn't
right. Admitting he didn't think it was that. He was asking the difference between two, saying, I don't want to say this.
I was
No,
actually
you said you guessed tuba, and then you were like trumpet.
Brandon, here's another thing we keep forgetting.
He's
Dave
re-
was fat. I keep forgetting Dave was
Oh.
fat. So he's a
Yeah, but not in
tubba.
high school.
He's a tubba shit. He played the tuba shit.
No way, dude. I got skinny and sexy, and then I started playing tuba.
Is
I
that
was
when the
like,
gym teacher fucked you?
this'll cinch it.
First of all, you know you didn't get laid because you said the word cinch in high school.
Oh yeah.
This
No,
will
I didn't get laid in
cinch
high
it.
school.
Let me cinch your tits. So what was that like? Playing
What?
so you're in the marching, being for
I
real.
was.
Because the get into the sports thing, I don't hate sports. I love sports for a long time. I played sports throughout my life. Sports was the only the best way I communicate with my father and my brother. We all love sports, and that was the way we spoke. It was the language we spoke. When I got into comedy and found something else to put all my effort into, I didn't really care about sports anymore. I still, like I said, I watch it. I understand it. I can talk about it forever. I can go on a sports podcast and talk sports with people, and still know things from the past. And I keep up enough because it was instilled in me my whole life. But with sports, especially in high school, comes a mentality of being better than others that don't do it. It's instilled in you by coaches and everyone else to this point.
Like that
So,
in band too.
That's what I'm saying. So did you deal with any hate or anything from people who didn't? We're joking with you. I couldn't play the tuba, and it takes a skill. I mean, to do that, it takes practice, especially in a time when you knew you could be fucking made fun of for it and razzed for it and shit, that you were doing this and being in marching band. Did you deal with any of the jocks, if you will, giving you shit?
No,
They liked you, or they just didn't even know you existed?
we just didn't really hang out.
When
But
did you
when they saw
graduate high
they
school?
were out of the way,
97.
band geek or nothing.
No, I mean, we weren't one of those cool bands that like they make the movie Drumline about. So we
You
certainly.
were
No,
black.
Oh, come
You were
on.
black, Dave.
I was imagining you in one of those all the time.
Yeah.
The whole... Dave, I don't think anybody thought that. Like,
Dave's playing
could
the
be hip.
tuba and stops and looks at the other band and goes, "You just mad because you got served."
You got
guys.
served.
I don't have a date later with the supermodel. I'm just letting you know.
Way to miss the accidental,
What?
jackass.
Yeah, you believe that? Can you believe that?
They didn't make the movie Drumline about me.
Yeah, they made another movie.
Cumline with Dave Hinz.
Pow.
Dave Hinz, Nick Cannon in Cumline. That's their new fucking
It's
movie.
just them two.
That's it. And a lot of cum.
And
His porn name should be Dick Cannon.
I don't think he needs a porn name. He's famous.
Yeah, but he would just have to change one letter.
But he doesn't have to. You'd watch it because Nick Cannon, if you change his name, then you're like,
Nick
it's the guy
Cannon,
pretending to be
starring
Nick
as Dick Cannon.
That's the whole point. You should be, there's a porn star named Dick Cannon because you're like, oh, it's kind of like Nick. But if he did it himself, he should just be Nick Cannon.
No, it's perfect for him.
No, Nick Cannon is perfect for him. Anyway, back
Or
to you
Dick
being beat
Cannon.
up. So
I didn't get beat up.
you should have.
Well, I had brothers, so I
Right.
did by them.
When I was in school, I played sports throughout, like I said, my entire life. Even when I went to college, I ended up playing rugby because there wasn't a sport for me to play in college anymore. So I had to gravitate to something. But always played basketball. Always did something athletic. That was my only release. Like I did that more than anything. Like that was my whole thing to go to when I was like hating myself in life. I'd go out and shoot hoops. So when I was a younger kid, like that was my release was always playing sports, watching sports nonstop.
I didn't hate myself. I was in the band.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You had that. But I could go outside and play basketball. If you go downstairs and start playing a tuba, your dad's going to hit you with a tuba. Like, I can go shoot hoops because my dad would watch me and go, oh, he's actually getting pretty good at this. He's not paying attention in school. He's not doing anything else. And literally had the conversation with me. Do you think there's a chance you could somehow play in some school somewhere because it became like really like people saying like it's a release from the inner city. It's from everyone. It's like, well, at least you can do this. And I find it weird that we are that society, is that if you're good at sports, we will give you an education, kind of like Hunger Games and weird. If you really break it down, we'll give you an education, something you can't afford, if you can make us money by playing on this team. But then the people don't get paid for it. It's a weird thing we do there. And I don't want to get into the part of college sports, how college kids should be getting paid because they're doing a job and going to school. And it's ridiculous. That's just a fair trade. It's not a fair trade. You play for Duke, you're making millions of dollars, and they're using your likeness and everything in commercials and shit. And you're the face of them, and you don't get a dime. You get in trouble if you take a dime from somebody. But not even getting into that. The mentality of if you do well, education doesn't matter because we'll just give you one. You don't have to work well in school. If you're the captain of the football team in Texas, you don't have to spell your own name. We'll get you to go to University of Texas. We'll get you in because we have a pipeline. We'll get you. That, to me, is where sports gets ruined. It's not. It's putting too much pressure on something. We both, at the beginning of this conversation, I asked you both, did you play something? Not did you work at something. It's play. It's a game. If we wanted to go outside right now and just go fucking throw a Frisbee, if someone came and recruited one of us, it would be Dave with a limp wrist. But if anyone recruited us, it'd be weird. It's play.
What are you talking about? People aren't aching to get middle-aged guys off the bench to be on their professional sports team.
Cinch and Aiken. That is you and Clay Aiken's
Cinch
gay
Aiken?
duet.
I think his
His
cinch is
gayer
Aiken.
cousin Cinch.
Cinch Aiken.
I think after last night, his cinch is Aiken.
Get it? You had
No.
butt sex.
Ooh.
Hey,
I
I think we should put that out there. Dave is not gay.
I think
that Dave takes the joke like he does a cock real well.
yeah,
With grace and aplomb.
from Dick Cannon.
I hope that's how it finishes. They come on your back and then they leave you fruit. You're like, what's this? A plum.
Oh, it's a plum.
It's a plum.
It's in
What,
my
no
contract.
tangerines?
He takes dick with a plum. Here you go, buddy.
That's a big asshole or a small dick. I can fit a whole
Either
plum.
way, it's a fruit basket.
If there's not a gay bar called the Fruit Basket, what are we doing? Oh, by the way, I came up with this today, and it didn't get a lot of likes on Twitter, but hey, gay people, if you don't have a holiday called Independence or Independence Day or Into Mendence Day, it's an Independence Day, What are you doing? Into Menden's Day would be a great celebration of how you like to get into men. Into Menden's Day.
Pat.
Always thinking. Dave, what do you think? Being part of the gay society.
Now, I'm a big fan of puns, as you know, and apparently
Into
cock.
Menden's Day.
And that was awesome.
With Will Smith.
Sold.
Instead of aliens, just gay men coming down the butt fuck. Yeah.
Co-starring Dick Cannon.
Dick Cannon.
Dick Cannon as the president of the United States.
Dick Cannon.
Nick Cannon as Dick Cannon.
See, this guy gets it.
So now Pat and Dave are both happy.
I'm not happy.
Ever.
Dick Cannon should never beat Dick Cannon. What do you think sports should be a job? Should there be a thing like the Super Bowl that we're watching?
I could weigh in.
Field all that shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can weigh in on what you said because I think Pat, you said in the beginning and what you said toward the end really, in my mind, I see it all as one picture where sports are great. They can teach camaraderie. It's a rite of passage for a child. It's really good. It teaches discipline. But the problem is when it's used for the wrong thing. So it's like a tool, just like a gun. It could be used to rob a store or defend yourself. So when parents or whoever, adults, start to live through their children, or they start to try to like use their children's future as some sort of escapism and like some way to get out of their own life that they hate. So they do that. And then it reaches down from levels like the NFL, because when you said the Coliseum in the beginning, Pat, that's great, because in the Roman times, what the Coliseum was for, it was meant to keep the mob busy. It was a form of escapism.
Feeding lions.
Yeah, to keep everybody's attention focused on one thing. So then people could just do all this corruption and do whatever they want. So if you think of it as modern times, that's kind of like sports now. The NFL, they do this crazy show to get people's attention. So then all this corruption they can engage in. And then the way it feeds down is they need people, they need these superstars. So they go to these areas where people are raised in, these terrible areas where it's like the worst part ghettos in the fucking world.
What people, Brandon?
Any people. I'm just saying people who live there. It's white people, black people, purple people. And they get these people,
A lot of purple people in the NFL?
They're from Wakanda.
Wakanda. But see, the reason that people do well and accelerate.
Who's going to save the purple people? Queen Latifah is the equalizer.
One of the reasons people that grew up in those situations excel in high pressure situations is because they were born in it. It's like Bane. He was like, I was born in the pit. You merely adapted to it. I was born in the darkness. So
I like that your
born in the dark.
Started hard Bane and ended light Shrek, but it was still good. It was,
yeah. You're
just fired it in my face.
Donkey.
You just fired it in my face. My mouth was open and everything. So I think that Pat, you're definitely right. People unfortunately, they take kids' hopes and dreams and just mold it into like what they were never able to accomplish. And then also all the shit they hate in their life, and they just distract themselves and engage in escapism by either watching it on TV or making their children do it when it could be a positive thing.
Definitely. And like you were saying, and I'll use not so me in my example. We brought him up last week. I'm going to bring my brother as an example. My brother was a great athlete, played football in college and all that, loved it, but he used it in the right way, knowing that we didn't have a ton of money, and was by playing sports and also being great at school. My brother never took any, shortcuts. My brother had great grades and was able to get into a great business school and in a school he wanted to go to, but by playing sports helped get those couple of scholarships that would help as well. And then
boy, your brother sounds like a real jerk.
Yep. And he'll love this one this week. He likes when you call him a jerk. So I think he said he wants you to dance into traffic last week.
I could.
Now my brother has a family, and his kids all play sports, and he coaches and stuff like that. But never once does he ever instill in them that they better do good at this to make him proud, or they better do this to move on in life, or they won't do it. He does it because he learned work ethic, teamwork, leadership, all that from sports. He's taken all the right things out of it and is now teaching it to them. If they're not good at it, it's not going to bother him. If they choose to want to do something else, he's going to support them in what they do. But that's rare. That's rare because, Brandon, you were saying,
because it's money making.
It's money making, but like Brandon was saying, right? If your kid is good, but that's 1% of all the kids who play sports.
Yeah,
But Brandon,
Brandon,
it's more of the escape. as a parent, you feel like you didn't do anything. So I'm going to make my kid live the life I should have, because with sports comes fame. With sports comes money. With sports comes attention. With women, all the things a father didn't have.
Yeah.
And he's thinking about his loser life. He's like, my kid needs to have that. But does your kid want it? If your kid wants it, then yes, support, push. I almost think when you go to like the Asian countries and you see how in Russia and Eastern Europe and all that and how they do it, where it's like, we find at an early age you're good at sports, and now this is your job. Just sports is your job. You're gonna get paid. Your family's gonna get money. We're gonna give a stipend. You're gonna go to sports school. I don't like it, but I'd rather them treat it like a trade than saying it's playing and then making money off the back end.
It is so fucking harsh what they do to it. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but like I met those kids through dance. I met the kids who were raised from ages 3 and up to be like, this is what you do.
From my home to dance. I showed at early age I could do the Watusi.
It was first of all, the Watusi is not a recognized dance, Pat. You're just showing your ignorance right now.
I just fucking recognized it.
you better recognize. You better recognize
the Watusi. I recognize the Watusi. Yo, my name's Watusi.
You may proceed.
Yeah, you better proceed to dance the Watusi. I like that. I was at the young age. I showed I could twerk, and I was plucked from my home
and put me to work
camp for twerk jerks.
There are Russian
men would say clap your cheeks, and I would have to clap my cheeks.
The Russian ballerinas, the headmistress
ballerinas, slow down.
Well, literally walk by children and be like, "You're too fat." No,
nothing.
That's it. Like they're 5 years old. This is their big break, and they're like, "No, you cannot. You're too fat. You are done."
The Russian,
which I think is the right way to handle that.
How do you not like that pun I did?
Oh, I didn't hear it.
You said the Russian ballerinas, and I said they need to slow down.
Oh,
is it Russian?
Maybe if you had made it about them being off time, then would have been more of a
rushing
joke. Yeah, it's also a music joke. It's cute.
I didn't make a music.
He's a band guy, remember? I think, Pat, you were right with that thing about escapism, or people are trying to relive their past, but also I think it is, for example, think about how many people come up to you after a show and they have a joke. You should have told this joke. I got a joke for you, all this stuff. I think a lot of that is because people feel that they want to express themselves creatively, but they're afraid to, or whatever, for whatever reason they don't. So it comes out in other ways. So then they make other people do it. So in the same way, people might be working at a job that they hate. So then they just live through their kid's existence the whole time. And they just look at their job as they put their head down and just do it to make money. And that, if you're someone who's listening to this and you're doing that, that's what's killing your soul right now. That's what's causing the anxiety.
It's toxic as fuck. Yeah.
It's your other self yelling at you saying, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Stop it. Go create, do something. You only live once. You're creating for somebody else. Yeah.
Let me break in here for a second and throw this out, because I'm guessing you both can get behind this and understand it, at least to some degree. The sports that I always enjoyed and gravitated to, like, I wasn't about team sports. They never really did anything for me, but I got into the martial arts when I was 16. And then later in life, I got into dance and the activities, the sports that helped you understand how to physically connect, like the mind-body connection, and actually how to use your body, how to move, that idea of, oh, okay, I can create this movement. I can do this action. I can get better at it. That was always something that was a huge driver for me. You guys feel that at all?
Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, I liked, I trained a little bit of karate or taekwondo when I was younger, and then
Pat's gonna tee up on use your body, aren't you?
No. Actually, I was gonna try to keep this a real conversation for a minute. So.
And then I did jujitsu for a few months, Brazilian jiu-jitsu a couple years ago. Jiu-jitsu, I could say it. Jiu-jitsu. Those dirty jiu-jitsu players, because they were in the mud. I really like that. I just couldn't keep it going with what was going on in my life, maybe in the future. But I see what you're saying. And I think that's kind of what sports is, the same thing. Yeah. I think that you have a mind-body connection with something you can do. And then sports gives you that feeling, but it also, it's movement. It has an element, like it has an element of competition, which could be healthy. But I think that some of that is also what this whole society is about, because everything is about division. So I think that there's other
Well,
forms of doing it that could be healthier or
Yeah,
whatever, more
but
in line with nature.
competition can be healthy because you can compete against a team
No,
that you want to be like, oh,
oh
they're
no,
good,
I
and I want to test
understand the
myself
whole.
against them.
I get the whole competition argument, and I understand survival of the fittest, and I understand how all that works. But what I'm saying is, I think there could be a more healthy way, because I think we should
Agreed.
look at nature and see how it exists in nature.
Well,
So the way we
competition
have
in
it set
nature
up,
is
hang
the
on,
most brutal.
Let me just finish. I understand that. You're right, Dave. Duh, the fucking competition in nature is the most brutal. Yeah, because if we didn't exist, we'd all be dead by now. We wouldn't be humans. But what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is, what I mean is, the way it's done in sports, it's set up like everything else where it's all division. Think about religion as opposed to true spirituality. Like if you're somebody who goes within and trusts that inner voice, and you could get in touch with that, that's something that's good. Now religion takes that feeling that you get and is able to give it to you, but they say you have to come to them. And then they say also, if the guy next to you believes one little thing different than you, then you got to fucking kill him and go to war. So I believe our whole society is based on these foundation like that. Hang on. And then it bleeds also into our sports. So, because all these sports are newer, it's like 1800s, 1900s, this shit was invented. You know what I mean? Most of those sports, that's what I'm saying.
Brandon,
so in that way, I think it gets scrabbled. But go ahead.
Where I don't understand your point with nature is it's not like at the end of the lions chasing the gazelle, they all have to line up and be like, good game. You got me. I'm gonna miss my grandma. Like the sports we have now are not nearly as competitive as nature. That's where you lost me.
Well, Dave.
Oh yeah, I'm saying, I'm just saying in the divided part, in the part where there's like where they're fighting each other, I think we could come up with something where it's more you're fighting yourself, and even like a sport like jujitsu.
That's something like martial arts and dance.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So you're not getting together in these groups to get in fields and fight each other, which simulates what? What does that simulate?
We'd all have dance battles.
No, when you get groups of people in a field to fight each other, that's war. You know what I'm saying? It's like a getting you ready.
And
that's all.
I mean, I know the point you're making, but like we obviously evolved in many ways. We're also not still living outside. We have changed, but therefore in our DNA, in our nature is to compete, to survive.
Yeah.
So, yes. But that's why we come up with these things in team groups to do that, to appease that it's still there. It's not, unless in some and others, not all in sports, but even with dance, you want to be the best. In comedy, you want to be the best. In those things, you want to be the best. So therefore I understand. But back to your original thing that you asked with Brandon, when you said your thing about why you like sports and that, I'm different in that. And I like that you had that thought process younger of, I like the fact that I can do this. It was my only thing that made me feel involved in something. Even when I didn't truly love it, I was accepted for sports things. And also it literally was my escape when I was not liking myself as a kid, and I didn't want to sit in a room with my own dumb thoughts. If I ran around a whole bunch, here's a guy with ADHD, didn't know he had it. A guy who had depression, didn't know he had it. Didn't really like himself, so tried to be funny at school, was called immature by all the girls there. And some of the guys found it funny, and some of them thought I was a loser for constantly yelling things out loud and talking all the time. So I knew to get that out of my head and get out of my system, I go shoot hoops. I go play football. I go play baseball. I played a different sport every 2 seconds. I played like every sport in school just to see if I could do it. And it wasn't because of, I love the idea what you said, because to test myself. I knew I could physically do all those things, but I did it because it really did quiet me. It calmed me. And now when I'm older, I would still go for 8 to 10 mile walks a day and think I need to do that stuff, but also found meditation, also found comedy, other outlets, because my brain needs it. My body needs it. And that's what I wanted sports for, but also learned if I spoke the language of sports, I was accepted by guys who were quote unquote cooler than me, and girls that liked guys who could speak that language, or the way to talk to my dad on weekends when I saw him, because he loved sports. And I could tell him everything about sports because I listened to every sports show, I watched everything on ESPN. I knew every stat there was, and it made me accepted in my mind. So that's why I went to it, literally to find a way to go, if I have the ability to do this. But now I find myself going, I don't really like these things. And if my son never wants to do any sports, he wrestles right now. I never wrestled. He does that. Great. Ashlyn played some field hockey, but she never wants to play sports. Great. I want them to do whatever quiets the shit in their head, and I would support that. But I also don't care if people do them, but I just hate when it becomes a thing where that's who you are. That's your identity. Because getting back real quick, and I'll let you guys talk, but the last thing that Brandon was saying, I feel real bad for the parents who do that living through their kids, but I almost feel worse for the people that don't have kids. It's their identity. They think they're on the team. Like literally last night, there were people have so much things. I made a joke meditation thing for the Super Bowl yesterday saying, for those of you who think you're going to lose tomorrow, you didn't lose. You're not on the team. Like, take a breath. No, but it's real. We really know those people who think they are on the Yankees, who think they are on the Giants. Like they know they're not really playing, but they really believe that if their wife talks during the second down play, that's why they dropped the ball. And then gets mad at her or gets upset or doesn't talk to his kids or ignores his family because sports are on. That's the thing where it's like, find something else. Do what my brother does with his kids and make it part of your thing. Hey, this is our bonding thing. Not that you won't hate it if it comes out of love and a fun thing, but you know it's not that important.
I can understand that, the idea of that, using sports, the language of sports to connect. Like with my father, I wish I could describe the look on his face when I told him that I was a ballroom dancing.
Oh my, that's wonderful, Dave. Great times are gonna clear up happy days. They're gonna dance now. He's got calm on his face. That was
he was like, which one are you again?
You're
yeah,
God, now we can call you putting on the hints. Dun, 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 dun. Like, that had to happen. So was your dad a sports rugged guy?
My dad was a fairly accomplished athlete through high school, and then right after college he went off to Vietnam. So he played at war for a couple of years. So yeah,
he was real good at making sure Vietnamese babies didn't live.
I mean, he came back, so that's kind of like being one of the best at war.
Yeah.
What sport did he play?
He was an all-around athlete. I know he played basketball, but I don't think there was anything. Same thing. He was kind of like, if there was a sport, he was going to play it.
But he didn't stand out as one.
He didn't pursue any of them. Like he didn't become like a sports star.
One didn't
but
become his goal and purpose. He played sports for the sake of playing sports.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then he played.
He was also
for the sake
a closet hockey fan.
He needed to scratch that itch. A lot of athletes, when it's over, go to the military because they have to scratch that. It's the same itch. It's a coach. Like how much?
That's what I was. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry,
You're right.
yeah.
How many times, Brandon, you know this, play for a coach who's yelling at you and you're a child and really mad at you. And it's really, when I went to boot camp, and I know we make jokes, but I wasn't there long, but my God, it felt just like being in a football locker room, being screamed at and put down to motivate. And there are
Army has a
certain
band.
people that respond to that, but there's a lot of people that don't. And then
they
get
Army
lost
band.
What?
The Army band also marches.
Yeah. Everybody.
Army's
right?
just like
Dave,
football.
I hope you die of Band-Aids. I really do.
Put them on your face. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was touched on earlier with the whole war thing, you know, and that just what Dave said about his dad going to Vietnam, you know, that's what our whole culture, and I'm not going to say maybe it was designed that way, who knows, but that's just the way that it is, you know, that's the way it's expressing itself right now. It's not as bad, but we just don't know about the wars. I mean, there's still all these wars going on, just people on our side aren't dying as much. So, you know, it doesn't get
Which means we're winning.
About. Yeah, which means we're winning.
To be clear, I think sports should exist. I think
Agreed.
It can be very healthy. I think they're very, and Dave, I know you said anything about good game afterwards. Thank God we're fake instilling that.
Yeah.
Fake. That is a coach feeling like he needs to teach them that so other parents don't get mad at what they're doing. Like but even putting that in their minds, knowing respect afterwards is a big deal, because it is, because at the end of the day, you had fun together, win or lose. Same way as in comedy, no matter what sport you play or what thing you do, you should learn from it, grow from it, and then fucking forget about it. Same thing in comedy and everything else. Like, I had a bad set. Okay, I realize I had the bad set. I improve on what I did. I take notes from it, and then I fucking forget about it. But the problem is, these kids are taught not to forget about it. You're a fucking loser until you win. This instills this thing where if they don't win, something's wrong with them. And all these kids end up having 16 teams their senior year, being told they let their school down, being told by people that they're not good enough, they're not accomplished for this dumb thing they did at the beginning for fun and acceptance and friendship. Now became so big that they're 40 years old, they're living on a bench in Derby because they can't stop fucking thinking about the big game. And there's no big game. You're from Derby. You're 5'2". So
yeah, I was never taught I disappointed the team. Only my parents.
I was throughout basketball. When I was at Derby, I was told I disappointed. I liked your joke, but and you did disappoint your parents. To be fair, you told us that your dad was disappointed in you when you said he's like I was hoping you were gonna say gay. And why can't you stay up black?
Wait,
Get me real
so
dumb.
you're a ballroom dancer and you're not gay?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a room full of testicles? You ball?
That's
Get
what
in
he
there,
was.
fruits.
Professional ball handler.
But that I think sports are very important. And
I agree.
I think that we do need to learn to work together because especially nowadays more than ever, everything is so individualistic. Everything just being on here, having a Twitter account, having social media where everything is yourself, projecting you, me, the best. Everybody has to see me to know how to work and deal with other people. Is
Pat, to
great.
your point, that's another great argument about the forcing the structure of respect, instilling that, because it is so easy just to shit all over everyone without any sort of repercussions.
Not even, but even worse than that. Nowadays, not only is there no repercussions, there's admiration. Look at that athlete talking shit. Look at that rapper dissing that other rap. Look at that guy making fun of that person because they posted a thing they like. Oh, you like wings with that sauce on it? You're a fag. Like, what is that? Yeah,
Look
they
at
might be
that
gay.
guy
They might
making
like
fun
the
of
wings.
band and
That
dancing.
doesn't mean it. What, Dave? We can't do that
Said-
when we talk at the same time.
Look at that guy who's making fun of band and dancing.
Yeah.
There's no reason to respect that.
I actually do,
Person.
and you know that, but we have a show. I respect anyone that can play an instrument. I wish I learned an instrument. When I was younger, my dad did quickly give me a guitar, and I wanted to do it, but I didn't have the patience
Yeah.
or the mentality at the time to take it on. I wish I learned how to do that. When I wanted to be in a band, there's nothing, a marching band, nothing attracted me to that. There was nothing that, but I understood the skill of it and tell you right now, they do go together well because I remember being on a football field and even if I wasn't playing that much, there was nothing better than having that fucking soundtrack back there. And to be more clear, when I went to a black school and it was not a marching band, it was 5 fat black women coming in as the noise because we were playing basketball and then giant women like hippos would come in and go, Nothing fires you up more than fucking 3-4 preciouses coming in, stomping and clapping, getting you going. I respect anyone that can do the soundtrack to my sports. I really do like that. Now, dancing, stop it. But
Never.
what are you doing? That's not a thing. No, I'm kidding. Any skill that you learn in life is good. And if dancing makes you happy, if sports make you happy, if writing makes you happy, do whatever the fuck makes you happy because you're going to be dead someday. Don't do the things that your parents want you to do because that's living their life and you're wasting your time. So whatever makes you happy. I've said this before. I wrote a thing about it. I called it, go ahead and look for Bigfoot. If that fucking makes you, you're not going to find him. He ain't real. But if that makes you happy to go find Bigfoot, go find that motherfucker. Search for him. Spend your money. Who cares? Because one day you'll be dead.
I think you should do what makes you happy.
Or it's the only thing you can do and you miss out on the rest of the fucking great world.
I think you should do what makes you happy as long as it makes your parents love you.
What if your parents are bad people?
I think
a lot
that
of
if
people
you
have bad parents.
I
Parents
think
should love you because you're doing what makes you happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if I ever have kids,
but Brandon and I both have parents that still like us.
what are we talking about?
My parents actually respect me more now because I am chasing a dream and poor as fuck, but wanting to do it. Or at least they say that. I think they're close to death, so they're like, "We'll just say that."
Well, by that logic, my parents just respect the fuck out of me because I've done everything that everyone else is like, that's the gayest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yep, sign me up twice.
Yeah, but now they just heard that you can get a sex change. Like, fuck.
Are you going ziplining
doing
next week?
this?
Yeah, right.
I didn't have to get the sex change. I could just announce it if I wanted to. Like, yep.
Yeah, that's
you also quit dancing.
I quit dancing to pursue comedy.
Yeah, they're like, fucking Jesus.
Dude, I went from the sexiest job in the world to like women would cross the room to talk to me to stand-up comedy.
The sexiest job in the world?
Dude, yes.
I know what you're saying. As far as
It's the
psychology,
sexy job, the
too,
sexiest,
though,
like prostitution is the sexiest job.
Women really dig that, and they really are attracted. I could see what he's talking about.
Dancing with the Stars.
It's not the sexiest job. Prostitution is. It's all sex.
There's nothing sexy about prostitution.
The sex part.
but that's like
Sex.
the grossest part. That's exactly it. It's
He's
sex.
got you on a technicality there.
Technicality.
I know you have to run by one, so I just want to get a quick point in about
That'll be
sports
fun.
really quick. What I want to say was I do agree that sports are a really great, healthy form of healthy form of expression, and it's a good way to get out and be in your body. I think it's really important, especially now.
Agreed.
So many people are on the internet, they're not in their body, they're not out there, they're doing it. So I think, yes, people should be in sports, and it's good. Now, having said that, I think sports is probably the best way we could express ourselves within this system that we're contained, which I believe is like a slave system. So basically we were, slaves to this, whatever we are, but it's fine. I'm not saying it like, oh my God, we're slaves. Because the real thing once you realize that, and once you realize that you're creating for somebody else, you could turn around and create for yourself. Just like I was saying earlier, people in jobs that they hate, they're creating for somebody else. People like us, they do comedy, we write books, I don't know what the fuck Dave does. Just kidding,
Dance.
No, you like when I was DJing, when Dave was dancing, we used our skills. It's stuff, it's fun stuff that we're doing. So we're not.
You didn't shit on that, Dave.
We're not, we making people dance. You're letting them. It's a positive exchange with people that you're having. So I think it's
as a
better
DJ,
way.
I can't shit on Brandon being a DJ because as a dancer, he and DJs and dancers have a symbiosis.
I just always forget how much I love it when either one of you say, I just love to make the people dance. I don't know why that fucking makes me laugh. It is what you do, but that sentence to me, I just think of like this gay overlord who's like, now dance.
Dance. I love to make the people dance.
Dance, you fuckers, dance.
Bunch of fucking like people in like
everybody
like,
dance now. Gay, 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 gay.
So so to finish that point though, really quickly, I think sports are great, but it is about the mind-body connection. So it's good to learn about teamwork and stuff like that, but you also want to be conscious where that energy is being focused. And if you're like Pat was saying, when I was in the Marines, it was being focused to scream kill every fucking day. Every time before we did something, kill, 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 like 80 people screaming it. So obviously that's really obvious where that intention's going. Sports aren't as obvious. You're just told to hate the other side, or not even hate them, but at the end you slap hands. But it's kind of like, especially when the parents are pushing their children so much, it's just implied that you got to hate them and kill them and they're the enemy. So I think that's the aspect of it. The parents are instilling it in their children when they're really pushing them, like you got to be the best. And then they're just kind of imply that you got to fuck the other person over.
Yeah, when you're younger, you're kind of taught like hate those other kids because they're on this other team. It's like
and that's where it comes. The division in societies everywhere: Coke and Pepsi,
Which
Giants versus
hate
Patriots.
But that's the thing. Like the people you could relate to most in life are the ones you're taught to hate.
Exactly.
They're literally choosing the same path you are. They're going through the same shit. You can sit there and talk with someone. Like some of the better relationships I had in high school with girls were the ones who also played sports, because we could talk about, yeah, my parents get mad at this, or like the teacher says if I don't get this in, then I can't do this thing. And it's like, why does one have to do with the other? And you could relate more because we're living the same life and we're going through the same old shit in our heads. And then to be trained like, whoa, that person's at the school in the town over, you have to hate them. Like, hate them. They're the person I should be talking to understand why you as an adult are yelling at me. Like, we should get together and be like, well, are we okay? Like, I need therapy. Me? I need someone to share this with.
Are you kidding me? If you can find someone that you connect with, that they are the same as you, and you could figure out how to dominate them, you've got life by the balls.
Let me ask you one quick question. One quick question. What do you think would happen if all the children at all the different schools got together and were friends and started talking? Instead of hating each other, do you think they would say, hang on, do you think they would go, this school is bullshit? And they would all start to go, this is bullshit. And then do you think they would be able to control?
Shit, boy. Like, oh, retarded Jimmy, get back in the corner.
Well, one of course, like, this is bullshit.
But Dave, do it. We have to all do it now.
Well, this is so, I don't like this bull of shit. I don't know what you're talking about. I like to play the sports ball.
So it's an easier way to keep people controlled. under which we already proved school is, we already talked about it, how it's a form of indoctrination. So, it's another way to keep people in that indoctrination. And at the end of the day, hating themselves, because if you don't conform to the group, there must be something wrong with you. And that's not the case. There is
How
nothing
about the
wrong
kid
with
who
you.
would play sports up
Perfect.
to his sophomore year, realized there were women and drugs, and then he quits the team. And what does the coach say? Don't talk to him anymore. He's not one of us. He's a quitter. He's a loser. He's like, still your
Well,
friend.
that
Why
kid's
is
a
he shunned
fucking
away?
moron. Because if he hasn't figured out before sophomore year that sports equals women and drugs, he's a fucking idiot and doesn't deserve to be on
Not
the
now.
team.
Now you got to sign
But you also
contracts.
didn't play sports.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
I
When you're,
watched,
no.
I,
When
but
you're
I watched all the
100%.
sports guys do women and drugs.
You
You're
didn't
not
have
hearing me.
time for that,
But
though,
Dave,
really.
not
I was
at that
practicing
peak.
band.
About sophomore years when they're really focusing on you being the leader, the next things as seniors. So they're cutting you off from other things. The first time I ever heard a band geek term, or that band was losers, or this sport was not from other kids. It was from adults. What, do you want to be a band fucking geek? Or do you want to be a fucking athlete? They would make it sound like it was a bad thing.
First
Make
time I
sure they
heard that
didn't
term was
lose their
right now.
employee, because they're a boss they're getting paid. Like, you're an employee, and they make sure that they have their free labor, like Brandon was saying. Now, if it was taught in the right environment and taught like, hey, you know what's, and some coach, I'm not going to say all people do that. There are coaches who are like, hey, let's all respect and say thanks to everyone in the band because they're part of us. They're playing the music, doing whatever, all the fans. There are people that really do care. There are people who grew up with athletics and now instill that. And there's great coaches and people like my brother and people like that who want to instill that leadership in people. But it's too many people that believe that because this is a way out, this is the ultimate job. There's celebrities in the same way as other things that shouldn't matter, like playing make-believe as Johnny Depp. That shouldn't fucking matter. I should not need to care about Ben Roethlisberger or Johnny Depp's opinions on anything ever. They're both weird. Like, they're just people that chose one thing, was forced upon it, shoved through it, and then said, like, now respect this thing. Like, yeah, they had a work ethic, but why do I have to respect it?
You're right on. I agree with actors that basically they're the kids who always wore capes to school.
Yeah.
Like, they could never
Brandon's
be
getting
in
the cape, by the way.
Oh, that's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I saw you're trying
Can
to
I
buy
just
it.
say-
I want you to get the boots, but you got to get the cape.
Brandon, this is the first time you haven't had like shit up behind you, the green screen. So I actually realized you're indoors. And when I saw you smoke inside, I was like, holy shit, are you allowed to do that? There's a part of me that just fucking was like, I didn't think people did that anymore. Could not notice it.
Those people have cancer. Congratulations.
Actually, I know what cancer is, so I don't fear it at all. But to finish, we could talk about that sometime. But to finish the point on,
that's a weird cliffhanger for the sports episode.
Good. No.
And next time,
keep them wanting more. Keep them wanting
more. Come to our sports fundraiser for Brandon's cancer.
Cancer is not what we've been told either. But anyway, so sports.
Oh, that's my grandma.
But anyway, cancer. Look into Rick Simpson's oil. Google that, or not Google. Use like DuckDuckGo, and you can Rick Simpson oil. It's actually marijuana oil. It's like the highest potency, and he says it's got to be. Anyway, so to go back to the school thing, if you want to cure your cancer, real quick, let's
close up on this.
Slowly.
Okay, good. To the sports thing. I was just going to say, a lot of people will say that sports, well, if you teach them sports, then it gets that aggression out. And then, it's like a replacement for war. Well, they used to make that argument and they still do. Well, then my counter to that argument would be like, then why does war still exist? So I think you're full of shit. I think it's a stepping stone for it. And I think that if it's not done properly, it could be a stepping stone for it, is what I mean. But if you're doing it consciously and know what it's about, then it is, people got to do it. They got to get outside. They got to work the body.
I will say this. I think in terms of, I will say this in terms of sports, there is, I think human beings, we all have an innate recognition of physical supremacy. Like, we're impressed by athleticism because of what it represents. It represents health. It represents the thing that you strive for, or like, holy shit, I wish I could do that. And it is impressive, like feats of strength. Those strongest guy in the world, like, they're dumb as fuck, but you watch them, you're like, all right, that's pretty badass. He's lifting a car. All right, that's cool. Like, it's not, but it is. So
like, you made the joke, but it really is it's the thing instilled in us, like, that person could dominate me. I don't mean like in a sexual, in a real way.
Yeah, and that's
what you go to. That person's stronger than me. They're more athletic than me. Oh my god, I should fear them.
I think there's a natural respect for that.
Them.
I do. I think there's a natural respect for physicality. And I think sports and part of the idealization of sports of athletes is there's
A fucking
still
problem with
that
that?
representation. What's that?
No fucking problem with that. That's my favorite move by a giant, strong guy. I can almost throw my arms at you. It's fun.
Yeah.
I
You know
think
what I can do? Tie
end
my
it
own
on this.
shoes.
Sports are important. I believe
my
sports
shoes.
should be
Agreed.
used. No, I'm
Yeah.
saying I know you guys said that. I'm just you had your point.
Pat, I don't think you understand. Sports are important.
They are.
Dave, I don't think you understand how podcasts work. Let Pat talk.
Yeah, take that, dance fruit. Anyway, sports are important.
Just kidding. I love you.
Dance is important. All
Thank you.
of these no, seriously, all these importance of entertainment or things that we can focus our lives on are important if it makes you feel good about you. But the second someone else is making you do something, you've got to think about it. And it's the hardest thing to do. Turn to a parent because you've been raised to listen to what they say and say, this is not what I want. But if sports teach you anything, is to go against the odds and to persevere. So turn to your parents and be like, hey, this is not for me. Love me, trust me. Here's what I want to do. Or I don't know what I want to do yet. But maybe playing sports and instilling when they're younger does teach people how to be a leader, a follower. And those are good things and bad things. You know, it's
All
good
right.
to follow at certain times. Teamwork and all that stuff. Dave, you got to finish my point because I got to fucking go. Now, you're going to do a thing where you're not gay. We know you're not gay. It's a joke. You're a straight man and you fuck Brazilian women and way to go. So that being said is this. Sports are good, but it shouldn't be done in the way it's too late. It's one of the biggest businesses in the world, but it shouldn't be. It should just be fun.
What I was going to say, Pat, is fuck football and basketball and baseball because those athletes get recognition like immediately for doing that sport. You want to prove you're a real man? Be a fucking dancer because I've had nothing but shit ever since becoming a dancer. Fat gay. And you know what? That makes me happy. I'm stronger than any football man because I am secure.
I thought I was
They're
this
also more
football
recognized than
man.
you, so go fuck off. Golfers, Michael Phelps, everyone. No one likes your shit. All right.
I just
Brandon,
want to
tell
say
them
really
things. Brent,
okay,
tell them things
so-
about you.
go to shadowworked.com. I'm coming out with a new book, and you can go there and subscribe to my email, and then it should be coming out really shortly. And if you want to support me there, you can support my effort through GoFundMe, through PayPal, and Venmo.
Dave.
DaveHinsComedy.com. Let me know if that site's still up.
You know what is still up? Our YouTube channel, Podophiles. Please like and subscribe to that. There's also my channel, Pat Oates' YouTube channel. I'm getting a little more followers on that one every day. We need more people. Dave,
Hit the like
Brandon,
button.
We
Hit the
need
like button
more
too.
people on the Podophiles YouTube channel because I'm putting it there and no one's seeing it. And then midweek, I'm putting it on my channel and people are seeing it. We're getting views. People like it. We just need to make people aware it's there. So if you want to listen to Podophiles, I know it's a wacky name and it's weird to put on your thing, but just share it. Say, I enjoy this. Just go over there and give it just subscribe to it. That way they can find out it's on there. Besides that, thank you for your dance, Dave. Thank you for your music, Brendan. And I will go play my skin flute now. Goodbye.